Welcome to all my dear children. Today we are going to discuss on lesson number 6, that is a life process. As we all know, first what is mean by life process? Life process is nothing but all the living organisms need some activities like growth, body development, nutrition, excretion, etc. But we should know what is the basic term of life processes. Certain terms are there, that certain processes are there, life processes. The first one is nutrition. Second one is excretion, respiration and transportation. So these are the four life processes are basic. Then reproduction and control and coordination also the life process, but that is not a basic life processes. Right. Now this is the introduction. Now we should know about what is the definition of life processes. Life process means any living organism needs to survive. They need body maintenance and growth. That process is called life processes. So I told already the life process, basic life process are four types. I told first one is nutrition, second respiration, third transportation. The transportation we can tell as a circulation. The fourth one is excretion, right? So now we should know what is nutrition. Nutrition is nothing but the process of taking nutrients. That process is called nutrition. And what is mean by respiration? Respiration is nothing but oxidation of food. Whatever the food we are eating, the food converts into energy. That process is called respiration. The third one is transportation. Transportation is nothing but the transfer of substances, energy, oxygen, carbon dioxide or other waste materials are transported from one place to another place. That is called transportation. Then the fourth one is excretion. Excretion is nothing but the removal of undigested waste. That is the nitrogenous waste are released from inside the body to outside. That is called excretion. Right. These are the definition. In that word I am telling you children, nutrition, respiration, excretion, control and coordination. All the terms are end by the word words T-I-O-N, T-I-O-N. So T-I-O-N means the process. Nutrition is a process of taking nutrient. Respiration is a process of getting food in the form of energy. These all are. Now next we are going to discuss the first topic, nutrition. Nutrition, as we know all that what is the definition I already have told. Now we enter the topic modes of nutrition. The modes of nutrition is classified into two types, that is autotrophic nutrition, another one is heterotrophic nutrition. First we should learn what is mean by autotrophic nutrition. The word autotrophic means, the auto means self, trophic means nutrition. So the self nutrition is called autotrophic nutrition. So those who are the animals are involved for the autotrophic nutrition means mostly green plants are involved for autotrophic nutrition. So we have to give the correct definition for autotrophic nutrition. Those organisms can make their own food. That process is called autotrophic nutrition. Again I tell the term, auto means self, trophic means nutrition. Those who are the organism, they can make their own food. That process is called autotrophic nutrition. So those animals are called autotrophs. Now you learn the two terms, one is autotrophic nutrition, another one is autotrophs. Autotrophs means those who are the organism, they can make their own food. Those organisms called autotrophs. That process is called autotrophic nutrition. I hope you understand, right? Next we are going for that heterotrophic nutrition. So the animals, they cannot make their own food. So of course what they will do, they will depend on other animal for their food. That process is called hetero. So the word hetero means depends on others. Hetero means depends on other for the nutrition. That is called heterotrophic nutrition. Now we have to, in detail we have to discuss about autotrophic nutrition. For example, I told already all the green plants are involved for the autotrophic nutrition. Here the autotrophic nutrition only occur in green plant. How? Why it is occur only in green plant? What is the reason? Because the green plants are contain chlorophyll. Now you all are learned from lower classes what is chlorophyll, where does might be present, everything, right? So again I just give a glance. Chlorophylls are nothing but is a green pigment which present only in the plant. Right? So the chlorophyll is the main agent for synthesizing the own food. So that process is called autotrophic organism. They can make their food by the process of photosynthesis. The term is called photosynthesis. What is mean by photosynthesis? We have to know. Right? Photo means light, synthesis means preparation. With the help of light, they prepare the food. That process is called photosynthesis. You may think like that, madam told light means any kind of light in your home, tube light and everything is there. They can use to prepare the food. It is not like that, the natural light. With the help of sunlight, they can prepare their own food. That process is called photosynthesis. Again I repeat, photo means light, synthesis means preparation. With the help of light, they prepare the food. Now we should know about what is mean by photosynthesis. So I am writing the heading raw materials of photosynthesis. PS for photosynthesis. What are the materials required for the photosynthesis? The first one is carbon dioxide. First one material is carbon dioxide. The second one is water. The third, as usual, all the green plants are having, that is a chlorophyll. Then another one is sunlight. These are the four substances is required for process of photosynthesis. So carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll and sunlight. What are the raw materials required for the photosynthesis? If suppose they are asking for one word, you have to write carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll and sunlight. Then we should know what is carbon dioxide. As we know that it is a gaseous, it is 0.03% present in the atmosphere. How the gas carbon dioxide enter inside the plant? With the help of stomata. Stomata is a small opening. Stomata means opening. It is present on the leaves. Most probably it is present on the lower surface of the leaves. Right? The stomata is a singular, stoma is a plural. Right? This is the plural form. So many holes are, so many stomas are present on the lower surface. Even it is scatteredly present on the upper surface of the leaves. So this stoma is helpful for the absorption of carbon dioxide. Now water. As we all learn from the 9th standard, the xylem is only the conducting tissue, transport water as well as mineral. So the roots will absorb with the help of root hairs and all the waters can be passed from downward to upward movement by the help of xylem. So xylem, with the help of xylem, the water reach to the leaves. Already carbon dioxide is absorbed by stomata. Now chlorophyll already present on the leaf, so then sunlight is there. So one thing you have to keep it in your mind, this photosynthesis process occur only under the sunlight. So photosynthesis occur only on daytime, it does not occur in night time. So now we should know what are the functions of this raw material. So what is the function of carbon dioxide? This carbon dioxide converts into carbohydrate. So that is the main function. The carbon dioxide is converts into carbohydrate combined with water. So carbon dioxide and water both it combine, it make a carbohydrate. So I am writing here carbohydrate is nothing but glucose, C6H12O6. This process is made, right? So under the observation of sunlight as well as chlorophyll. Right. So this is the main thing. Again I write the equation, you just see clearly children. Carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight with chlorophyll, it converts into carbohydrate, that is C6H12O6. It is nothing but it is a glucose. Along with it produce oxygen. This equation is very important. This way the plants can make their own food. This is called photosynthesis. Now what is the role of chlorophyll? As we know that carbon dioxide, water combined, it produce glucose. How it is produced? With the help of this chlorophyll and sunlight. Actually the sunlight is produced two energy, as we know that one is light energy as well as heat energy. Now this chlorophyll is absorb the light energy and with the help of the carbon dioxide it convert light energy into chemical energy. So automatically the carbon dioxide and water along with that light energy it convert the chemical substances is called glucose. So this is the main function of chlorophyll. What is the function of chlorophyll? Means it converts light energy into chemical energy, right? Carbon dioxide is converted into carbohydrate along with it. In this process you can get that two byproduct. As we know that what is mean by raw material, what is mean by byproduct. So if the left hand side whatever the substances is present, that is called raw materials. What is present above after the equation, that is called the product. So we are getting two products, one is glucose, another one is oxygen. That is the reason we should grow more plants, because if we want oxygen we need to grow more plants. Now we are going to learn about structure of stomata. As we know that stomata is the main small pore which is present on the surface of the leaf. It helps to absorb water as well as carbon dioxide, right? So now the structure, this is the structure of stomata, children. Now you see, children, this is the small hole which is present on the center. This is called stomata. I already told stomata is a singular, stoma is a plural, right? The stomata is covered by a two kidney shaped cells. This is the kidney shaped cells. These cells are called God cells, right? These God cells only maintain the whole, right? So after that it is a give the flower like appearance. This is called mesothelial, that is a epithelial cells or covered the God cells. If you see under the microscope, the stomata is having small ball like structures, that is called the without coloring. I just for your understanding I made that two coloring area, that is a two small circles are called the nucleus. Then without coloring I made the small ball like structures, these are called chloroplast. This chloroplast contain the pigment, that pigment is called chlorophyll. So that is the reason the chlorophyll is involved for the photosynthesis process, right? Next, what is the functioning of the God cells we should know. This is the opening and closing of the stomata, that is under control of God cells. So when the God cells will open, when the God cells will close means when the water content will more, that time it will open. So excess amount of water can be released in the form of water vapor. That process is called transpiration. So what is mean by transpiration? Means transpiration is nothing but the excess amount of water is released in the form of water vapor. So that time that it will be open. So suppose it is a hot time, daytime, sunlight is too heavy means that time water level is very less inside, means automatically what happened, this God cells are closed, the stomata, it will not allow the water whichever present inside, so it will retain inside the plant only. This way the God cells are protecting the stomata. Next we should know about chloroplast. I already told chloroplast you have learned from class 9. Chloroplast is a one important cell organelle. This cell organelle contain the pigment. That pigment is called chlorophyll. This chlorophyll is involved for the process of photosynthesis. These all are, we know that is called grana. That is singular, we can say it is a granum. So many granums are combined, it make a grana. Right? So single coin like structure we can say it is a thylakoid. Each and every disc inside the chlorophyll pigment is present. This chlorophyll pigment not only give the colors, it is also involved for the photosynthesis process. Next we are going to discuss heterotrophic mode of nutrition. As already I told that what is mean by heterotrophic nutrition. Hetero means depends on others for nutrition. That process is called heterotrophic nutrition. So what is mean by heterotrophic means, hetero means depends on other for food. Trophic means nutrition. This is called heterotrophic nutrition. These heterotrophic nutrition are classified into three types. One is holozoic nutrition. The second one it is called saprophytic nutrition. The third one is called parasitic nutrition. There are the three types of heterotrophic nutrition: holozoic, saprophytic and parasitic nutrition. First we should know about what is mean by holozoic nutrition. Holozoic nutrition means those who are the organism taken food from outside, particularly solid food material can be taken outside and digestion happen inside the body. That is called holozoic. Human being, animals, all lower animals are amoeba, paramecium, these all are come under the category of Holozoic nutrition. Again I repeat, what is mean by holozoic nutrition means those were the animals taken food from outside, particularly solid food material, and keep it inside for the digestion process. That is called holozoic nutrition. Next one is saprophytic nutrition. This saprophytic organisms, those who are the organism involved for saprophytic nutrition, that animals are called saprophytes. Saprophytes is also called decomposers. You might have learned from the lower classes decomposers, right? So the decomposers, saprophytic nutrition means those who are the animals, those who are the organism taken food from dead and decaying matter. That organisms are called saprophytes. That nutrition is called saprophytic nutrition. So saprophytes also called decomposer. Why we are calling decomposer? D means deteriorate, destroy. Composers means it used to destroy the substances, organic, complex organic substances into simple organic substances. So this type of nutrition is called saprophytic nutrition. Next we are going to discuss parasitic nutrition. So the slight difference between the parasitic and saprophytic. The parasitic nutrition, here the animals can take the food from other living animals. Here the saprophytic, the animals can take food from dead and decaying matter, but parasitic nutrition, the animals can take food from other living organisms. So other living organisms, we can say that is that host. H-O-S-T, host, the other living organisms are called host. So this animal go and live inside or outside of the living organism. It is a host and derive the food from the living organism, that is called parasitic. For example, this parasitic mode of those animals are called parasites, right? So this parasites nutrition are two, one is endoparasite, another one is exoparasite. So what is mean by endo? The animals, the parasite, suppose which present inside the living organism, that parasites are called endoparasite. For example, tapeworm, ascaris or Taenia solium or E. coli, these all are example of endoparasite. Next one is exoparasite. Exoparasite means, exo means outside. The organisms are present outside the living organism. This is called exoparasite. For example, lice or leech. These all are example of exoparasite, right? So now these are the three different types of heterotrophic nutrition. Again I repeat children, heterotrophic nutrition can be classified into three types. One is holozoic nutrition, next one is saprophytic nutrition, third one is parasitic nutrition. I hope you will understand the definition, right? So first we have to discuss, next we are going to discuss on nutrition, that is that holozoic nutrition in detail, right? Here I am writing H for holozoic nutrition. So nutrition can be go for the 5 steps. The first step is called ingestion. The second step is called digestion. The third one is called absorption. The fourth one is called assimilation. The fifth one is called egestion or excretion. These are the 5 steps involved for the nutrition, right? So again I repeat, ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. The egestion we can also called excretion, right? First we should know about what is mean by ingestion. Intaking of nutrient, that is called ingestion. Taking of nutrient, eating of nutrient, that is called ingestion. After eating, the food has to convert into complex substances into simple, or in your word if you tell, whatever the food substances we are eating, that should be digested, that process is called digestion. This digestion process occurs under the digestive enzyme. If the digestive enzymes are helped to digest the food material. Third one is absorption. After digest, the digested food material can be absorbed by the help of blood. That process is called absorption. So again I repeat, ingestion means intaking of food. Digestion means after intaking the food, it is digested with the help of digestive enzyme and converted into simpler substances. That process is called the digestion. Third one is absorption. Digested food material can be absorbed by blood. That is called absorption. Next, fourth one is assimilation. Once the digested food is absorbed, it converts into energy. That is called assimilation. Assimilation term you have to clearly understand, children. What is mean by assimilation means after digest the food is digested, food is converted into energy. That energy is distributed each and every cell of our body. That process is called assimilation. Last one is called egestion. Egestion is also called excretion, I told. Why I am giving the two terms means egestion is applicable for lower animals, excretion is applicable for higher animals. So the term egestion means it helps to remove the undigested food in the form of gases or solid waste. It released from inside the body to outside. That is called egestion. Now in this, based on the steps, we are going to learn now nutrition in amoeba. As we all know that amoeba is a unicellular organism. Why we are calling amoeba as a unicellular organism, children? Because it is made up of single cell, right? So the amoeba is, now we are going to learn the amoeba nutrition. Same as usual, even though it is a small unicellular or multicellular, all 5 steps are very important for the nutrition, right? So this amoeba mostly present in fresh water. It is not present in the salt water. It is present only in fresh water. At the same time, this is the omnivorous animal. You know that what is mean by omnivorous. They can eat plant as well as animal product. So this is the omnivorous. It is present in the fresh water. It is a unicellular organism. Now the process of taking food by amoeba, that process is called phagocytosis. The term is very important, children. Phagocytosis. What is mean by phago? Phago means swallowing. Swallow the food. Cytosis means inside the cell. So swallow inside the cell. That process is called phagocytosis. In your higher classes, you will learn the different type of phagocytosis. Now it is not needed. Which process is involved for taking amoeba nutrition means that is phagocytosis, right? So now the phagocytosis, now how the amoebas, we have hand, we can take the food by our hand, we can eat with the help of our teeth and mouth. Then what about amoeba? They do not contain any mouth or anything. How they can collect the food material means by the help of pseudopodia. What is mean by pseudo? Pseudo means false. Podia means food. With the help of false food, they can collect the food material. So the amoeba can collect the food material by the help of pseudopodia. Now I am going to draw the picture of amoeba. As we know that amoeba is a irregular shape. We can draw any structure like structure. Alright. So this amoeba. Why I am telling that is a pseudopodia means it will not present every time. Whenever it is required, that time only the pseudopodia will develop. Pseudopodia is nothing but is a muscular food like structure. It is created whenever it is needed. Suppose the food material is here. So what will happen? The pseudopodia will collect the food material and take it inside. So how it is taken? Actually each and every organism, it is made up of cell membrane. So the food particles get inside to the amoeba by the process is called diffusion. So we should know what is mean by diffusion. Diffusion is nothing but is a small process taken the food material from outside to inside or inside to outside. That is called diffusion. It is a simple process. It will not occur in higher animals. Because why? What is the reason? Amoeba is made up of only one cell. This diffusion process will not applicable in our body. Why? Because our body is made up of millions and billions of cells. So this is very slow process also. So this is applicable only in lower animals. So with the help of diffusion process, the food particles get inside the cytoplasm of the amoeba. So this is the common question, children. They will ask which process involved for taking the food inside the amoeba means diffusion process, right? So they will ask another question, the diffusion process is applicable for higher animals? No, not at all. It is not applicable in higher animals. Why? Because amoeba is made up of unicell, only one cell. So one cell, it is easy for that to absorb the energy, and even though it is releasing outside also, but it is not possible for higher animals because our body is made up of many cells, right? Now as usual, I told that the nutrition is consist of 5 steps. The first step is ingestion. So with the help of how you have to write what is ingestion, I already told, taking of nutrients. So amoeba can collect the food material with the help of Pseudopodia by the process of diffusion and send inside the cytoplasm, right? This is the first process. The second one is digestion. So I told that whatever the food material we are taking, that food material has to be digested inside. That process is the second process, that is called the digestion. Suppose amoeba is there, means as we all know that amoeba is a prokaryotic organism. You all learned from 9th standard what is mean by prokaryotic organisms, right? Mostly all the cell organelles are absent except ribosome and mesosome, remaining all the cell organelles are absent. Now nucleus also, without nuclear membrane it is present. Now food particle enter inside the cytoplasm. This is the food. Now the food particle, next process, first ingestion is over, next we are going to discuss on the digestion. So once the food enter inside the cytoplasm of the amoeba, the food is covered by a vacuole. As we know that vacuole is nothing but a small bubble like structure. This bubble just covered the food material. So the bubble which covered, the vacuole which covered the food, that vacuole is called a food vacuole. So you should know that what is mean by food vacuole. The vacuole which covered the food material, that vacuole is called a food vacuole, right? What is the difference between ordinary vacuole and food vacuole? This vacuoles, the food vacuoles are contain digestive enzymes. Same like our stomach. Our stomach is contains some certain digestive enzyme. That is the reason it helps to digest our food. Same like that, amoeba does not contain any stomach or something. So the food vacuole is act as a stomach. So this food vacuole contains certain digestive enzyme. With the help of digestive enzyme, the food has to be digested inside. Now food is digested with the help of food vacuole. So they will ask what is the function of food vacuole in amoeba, means the food vacuole is nothing but a small vacuole which contain digestive enzyme. It helps to digest the food material. Clear? Next process is what? After digestion, it should be absorbed. The third process is absorption. Once the food is digested, the food vacuole, what will happen? It breaks itself. So the food vacuole is break itself and release all the digested food outside. So now what happened? Once the food is digested, complete digestion is over, that time the food vacuole breaks itself and release all the digested food on the cytoplasm. Right? Now food scatteredly, uniformly distributed on the cytoplasm. Then absorption means absorb all the nutrient, all the digested food is absorbed by the cytoplasm. That process is called absorption. Right? Now third step also over. Next we are going to discuss assimilation. Assimilation I already told. The digested food is converted into energy, that is the food. The last process is called egestion. Egestion means, suppose after absorption, after assimilation, the waste material has to be present, right? So that waste material can be collected by another vacuole. So it is different from food vacuole. Food vacuole only helps for digesting the food because it contains, yes, digestive enzyme. Now this another vacuole which collect all the waste material, that vacuole is called contractile vacuole. Contractile vacuole, C-O-N-T-R-A-C-T-I-L-E. This vacuole it does not contain any digestive enzyme or nothing. This is the simple vacuole which collect all the waste material in the form of gases, carbon dioxide or etc. It collect all the waste material and reach near to the cell membrane. So now where the contractile vacuole is present, it reach to the cell membrane. After reaching the cell membrane, it eject out the waste material, the same process of diffusion. With the help of diffusion process, it eject out, it throw out the waste material. This process is called egestion. I hope you all are understand, children.